morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, we're going to try that again because I know I heard the people on my left and your right, but let's try it again. I know it's early. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And one more time, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity. Douglas, I thank you for continuing to be persistent about what you're trying to do here. I want to thank all of you all who have had the opportunity to work with Doug to put this event together today. I know that putting events together like this are not easy. And when you start trying to get people, particularly youth and adults, to get out of their beds on Saturday morning, that's not an easy task, but we need to give Doug and his staff a hand. So if you would, please, let's give them a hand. I think that this year marks the third year that we've reported equity concerns of the Fayette County Public Schools. Now, we have some good news, and then we have some news that is not as good. And I will say that as we look at where the district is attempting to go, there are some very dedicated people in the district that are seriously trying to make some things happen. So when we look at this being the third year that we have reported the equity concerns of the Fayette County Public Schools in a report card format, I continue to believe that many in the district are committed to ensure that every student gets a high quality education. I know many of you, and you may have read this from the superintendent in yesterday's newspaper, I know many of you are seeing that there are many that are looking at the success of our children and are adamant about holding our public schools to high expectations. Therefore, we must continue to hold our district accountable, and that's where you'll see the equity scorecard. We're looking at making sure that those folks who are doing what they say that they're doing are held accountable. We, in Friday's newspaper, saw that the top 10 performing schools were listed, elementary, middle, and high school, as well as the top middle and the top high schools, as well as the bottom for each one of those. And I find that in Fayette County, we're meeting at least internationally benchmarked academic standards designed to prepare them to excel in a global society. Now, you do know that we've got to look at past our students being able to perform just in Lexington. We've got to look at how they perform as well as the state is concerned, the country, and then also we got to make sure that they are prepared to perform in a global society. And so that's where I think that many of you all will come in. Fayette County Public School students at elementary, middle, and high school levels continue to outperform state averages, and our high school, college, and career readiness rates rose significantly. Now, this is an area that I'm particularly concerned with because the district's overall 2013 score is 59.8%, which is up 1.6 points from last year. And the district's rating against others in the state is now in the 82nd percentile. More than half of our schools earn ratings of proficient or distinguished, and 28 schools posted higher scores in 2013 than the previous year. So there is movement, ladies and gentlemen. We see that there is movement occurring. Are we where we need to be? No, ma'am, no, sir. The most significant gains came at the high school level, where overall district scores increased in the categories of achievement, gap, college, and career readiness, and the graduation rate. Now, you do know that if we can't get our kids career ready, then, and this is something that Ms. Maddox and I were just discussing, if we can't get folks career ready, then what's all of this really about? They won't be able to go out and become successful in jobs and careers. And so we recognize that that is something that we have to continue to push for as far as the district is concerned. Now, one big note, Bryan Station High School, which in 2012 was in the 17th percentile of high schools in the state jumped 24 spots ahead to the 41st percentile. That's great. You know, that is just fantastic. Their overall score rose from 47.7 to 52.9, making a 5.2-point gain. Bryan Station High is one of 10 schools in the district that became innovation schools this year, intentionally looking for ways to redesign instruction. And that is so important because as I work with youth, I find that every youth doesn't learn the same way. And I'm sure that you all who have more than one or two children understand that you may have one child that learns one way and another child that learns a different way. And so that's what we're trying to make sure that occurs in our school district, is that you look at a prescription, if you will, for what one child needs to have so that they can learn, so that at the end of the day, every child is able to learn. It goes farther, and I want to give you some more information. Lafayette High School also had a 5.2-point gain. Among the district's middle schools, Leestown had the largest increase in overall score, with a 6.3-point jump. Deep Springs Elementary earned one of the state's first accountability recognitions as a high progress school for posting among the best elementary school gains in the Commonwealth with boosts of 9.7 points. Anybody in here from any of those schools that have been listed? Anybody?
My kids are.
Okay. All right. Let's give them a hand. All right. Because that's just fantastic news. Now, here comes the news that is not as good, and this is where we still need to continue to press. Despite the progress, the truth is the achievement of students who qualify for free or reduced lunch, receive special education services, are learning English as a second language, or whose race is identified as African American, Hispanic, or Native American, continue to trail their peers. Well, okay, you say, well, Roy, what has to be done? Well, we have to accelerate learning for those who are behind. Okay, that's the first thing. While continuing to challenge those who are already achieving, because if we don't, then you know what happens to those that are already achieving. They get bored, don't they? Okay, we would get bored if we were sitting in that situation. So we got to make sure that we are able to work with both groups. I believe that every child in our school district deserves the very best possible education, and we as an equity council must monitor to ensure that services and structures are in place to ensure that all our kids move forward, just not one group. I also believe that all the tools we need are right here to make the gap in learning close and ultimately be eliminated. Because that's our goal. We don't want to just close the achievement gap. We want to eliminate it so that all kids are learning. Okay? And if we can get to that point, then we know that our kids will be able to operate in a global society. And I am just one that believes that our kids will be able to actually not only operate here, but we can have the best school district in the entire world. I just believe that. And so you can call me crazy if you want, but I just believe that we can do it. And that's where I am. That's, you know, let's make it happen. Okay? And so I have a few questions for you, though. And that is this. How would that affect your family if all of the kids were able to learn here? Anybody? How would that affect your family? Be great.
Yes.
It would be great. What does it mean for your family? Okay? No bad answers here. It's not a test. What does it mean? Yes, ma'am.
For my family, having a middle schooler, which is tough, regardless. Middle school is tough, and it's a tough age. But I've got a middle schooler, and he struggles with ADHD and focus and remembering things. And at home, that translates into arguing and us having conversations instead of having a good time together, fighting about homework every night.
That's it.
And I worry that he will give up on school altogether.
And then we all lose.
And than we always.
That's great. Let me ask you the next question. How would this really reduce violence? How do you think that if every kid can really learn that it's going to reduce youth violence? Anybody? No wrong answers.
Education helps.
Education helps. Yeah. Another. Yes, sir.
We'll have more people with good jobs that they want and enjoy, and that keeps them from thinking about doing things that hurt each other.
That's it.
That hurt us.
That's it. That's it. So you see that having a good education is very important because it can do the things that you've heard about here. You know, it's going to affect your family. It's going to definitely affect youth violence. So we have to work together to make sure that as a team, we're able to help the families prosper and to reduce youth violence. Well, my time is up. I will share this. My commitment is to do everything I can as the Equity Council chairperson to help us get there. Thank you for allowing me to be here, and let's continue to work with Mr.